Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.
All right, welcome to Primetime College Hoops, part of the Prime Coverage Sports Network. My name is Jim Weglars, aka Wegs. You can follow me at Wegspool on X and on Instagram. Casanova?
Hey man, this is Casanova checking in, man. You can follow me at Kenneth all them numbers on X. Kenny Casanova, man. Excited and ready to go.
That a boy. And the man's back, the con man, now called the Oracle on this podcast. Introduce yourself, sir.
Yes, sir. My name is the Oracle, and you can catch me on the Sports Wave Network Monday through Friday, and I'm ready to do the damn thing today with y'all.
All right. Well, good to have everybody back. Got the whole gang back together. It's exciting to have everybody in, and I'll tell you, couldn't be better time. I was just talking to Casanova off air. It's 4 weeks, guys. 4 weeks till they tip off the big dance. And they go, the first four counts, but I like the big games, Thursday, 4 weeks from now. Pretty exciting. You guys getting fired up or what?
You know something? I want to tell something to the viewers and y'all. This is like one of the most exciting seasons I've ever come across. I am so pumped up. There's so much talent going on, and there's so much entwined stories that's going on. I think this year has been like one of the most exciting years I've ever have been a part of, and can't wait to see what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah, I love how there's not one dominant team. I think that for me makes it so much more exciting, because I'm not looking at one team like, oh, that's a lock right there. They're going to do it. It's like it's so many teams you can see winning it. So that just makes it really exciting.
Yeah, I heard I was watching one of the games the other night. I mean, Duke whooped up on Syracuse, but Jay Williams, Jay played for Duke, played a little bit for the Bulls. He was saying that they asked him the question, do you like the college game right now better than the pro game? And he said the college game, because the talent, as you were talking about, every night you've got great talent. You got great matchups every night where top 25 teams are meeting every single night. And even if you don't, the kids are into it in the stands. The players are playing all out every minute of the game. It's just wall-to-wall fun.
Yes.
Let's talk about – go ahead.
That thinking stuff going on, right?
Yeah. Well, let's talk about some of these games specifically. We went over a bunch last week. I did add the one from last night because we have to put that on the menu. But let's go over, Duke. Obviously, they played Clemson. We did talk about this game. Going into this game, Clemson was pretty good. They've had a little skid now. But let's face it, Duke is a really good basketball team. They took care of business. They won 67-54 in this one. And Clemson, they're a faller. We'll talk about them in a minute. But they held Clemson at 35.1% shooting from the floor. Duke is a legit squad. We already knew that. What do you think? What do you think, Oracle?
You know what? Duke has been blowing everybody out, and it was good to see that Clemson came to play, and it was a close game. It was a competitive game. But, at the end, Duke, they're tough. They're very tough. They got some great freshmen, and, they pulled out at the end. Looking forward to see how they're going to continue the rest of the year.
Yeah, Casanova, did you catch this game at all, or you just watched the score? I just checked the score. So
yeah, no, I definitely watched this one, because I was like, I kind of put my foot in my mouth when we predicted it. I said it was going to be a walk away. Definitely, I had it a walk away, and it was a walk away, to some degree. I felt like Duke showed we're the best team in the ACC.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are little guys, and they did that. They flexed their muscle. They didn't need to do too much. And one thing about it, their defense, I was impressed. They held them to just 35% scoring, shooting from the field. Man, I was very impressed, because I knew Duke could play. They could score. Now defensively is where I'm like, okay, what's up? And Clemson had been on a hot streak, so them slowing down Clemson and doing that, I was impressed.
Yeah, that defense can really. I mean, look, Cam Boozer's not just an offensive player. That guy can really defend.
Mhm.
Got another guy at the rim that can defend, and their guards get after you. I mean, Shire, he came from a defensive mindset. I mean, the guy could shoot when he was a player, but he definitely knew how to play defense too.
True.
So let's talk about one of the big games of the weekend. And this team had probably the best weekend in basketball so far. Iowa State, they got to host the Jayhawks at home. And our guy Darren Peterson did play in this game for Kansas, but it did not matter because the Cyclones just ran them out of town. I mean, they won this game 74-56. The game was sort of close early, but that defense just forced a ton of turnovers for Iowa State. And they made the Jayhawks. Now, early in the season, the Jayhawks beat this team by 22. So this was kind of a payback game. Tell me what you saw on that one, Oracle.
You know, Iowa State, they have a great record of 22-3. So, coming in that they were going to be very competitive. Now we got to talk about Kansas. I don't know if we're going to talk about that later on, but Kansas is in a little bit of disarray right now, with their outstanding point guard. But we're going to give credit to Iowa State. I mean, they played a great game. They played well defensively, and I think that they're going to be a team to be reckoned with. Iowa State and Iowa, matter of fact, they're both playing very well. So that's good for the state of Iowa. You know what I mean? So I think that's pretty good.
For sure. Casanova, what did you see in this game?
Yeah, what I seen was what I predicted. And I predicted this one, like I called it. I said Iowa State was gonna beat Kansas because I felt like Iowa State was the type of team they were on the rise and they needed a signature win.
Uh-huh.
Better to get a signature win than a team like you said, Oracle, that's in disarray right now. I don't know what's going on with the fabulous freshmen, but they gotta fix it immediately. I don't know if I don't know if we're gonna talk about it later, but I'm really disturbed by this right now at this point because I talked about it earlier. And I'm like, this is kind of weird to me. What's going on? But then now the coach even said, "What's going on?" If the coach saying what's going on, then we have a problem with Kansas.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing I was thinking is that he didn't play with the team for whatever 9 or 10 games. He's only played partial games a lot of these games. Maybe they don't have the chemistry yet. I mean, he certainly likes to come in and shoot the ball. He won a game for them at Texas Tech, a week and a half ago. But it takes time to gel a team and have everybody on the court know exactly their roles. That's a factor. And I thought he got a little shook because when they started, Iowa State traps you in different parts of the court. And he started turning the ball over, and then he kind of went in a shell a little bit. The only thing he would do is like pull up and shoot. That's not really great basketball long term. So you're right. I mean, it was a big. You did call it. Casanova's trying to take the Oracle moniker from you, Oracle, because he was trying to predict everything. But he. All right. Well, let's talk about another team that we've been charting for a while here. That's the Gators. This team has turned it on. They obviously, they're owning the SEC right now, and they obviously went up against Kentucky. I thought Kentucky played very well in this basketball game. They stuck it within about 10. They covered the spread, but they never really were in jeopardy of winning this game. So the Gators won 92-83 on Saturday. This Florida team, I mean, they don't have the guards they did last year, but those forwards are great, and the guards are starting to play better. So I'm going to kick it to you, Casanova, first. What did you think about this basketball game?
I thought it was a competitive, like you said, Kentucky kept it real close and competitive, but at no point did I think the Gators was going to lose this game. At no point. They seemed like they were in control of this game. They're so, like, we're going to talk about another team in Michigan. They're like Michigan, they're so big on the front court. Like the front court they're huge. And so they're just taking advantage of everybody, man. You guys are little. So let's get in the paint. Let's just dominate in the paint. Kick it out to our shooters when we can. Like you said, the guards are starting to play a little bit better now, coming down the stretch. So Florida's going to be a very interesting team too. They're the defending champ, so it's always an advantage.
So what do you think, Oracle, about this Florida basketball team right now?
I'm very, very, very impressed with them. Their size, and as you stated, that the guards, haven't really developed as well as they can. But during the regular season, it's all about the big men. In the NCAA tournament, it's all about the guys. So if the guys can get their act together, in the meantime, I think they're going to be a tough team to be reckoned with. But I like the way they play. They're very enthusiastic. They do kick the ball out. They do have some decent perimeter shooting. I like the way that they rim protect. I just like the way they rebound, kick the ball out. They're fun to watch. They're very exciting to watch as well.
Yeah, for sure. They are fun to watch. They love to score. They scored almost 92 points, but they're not going to cheat the fans. It's going to be up and down. Well, let's talk about one team that I love, and now I'm crying for them, is the Red Raiders, Texas Tech. They obviously went on the road. They won a huge game at Arizona, 78-75. Yes, Kenny did pick this game, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But in this game, hey, they played great. Koa Pete actually got hurt for Arizona. He has a lower body injury, unspecified, and he's out for a couple of weeks. But more importantly, after this game, let's talk about the game first. Then we'll talk about what happened in this week's game. Oracle, did you get to see this game at all, or did you just kind of track it? Did you get to see this one, Oracle?
I didn't get a chance to really watch this particular game. I've been watching so many damn games. I really didn't watch this game, but I paid attention to it, on ESPN as well. But JT Toppin, man, he had a great game. I mean, wow. I mean, I'm sure we're going to talk about that in a minute, but he had a tremendous game. And Texas Tech, man, I think they were on a roll, and I think Arizona lost 2 games in a row, if I'm correct.
Yeah, that was their second straight. Yep.
Yeah, right. So you know what I mean. So that was a big victory for Texas Tech, but I don't know what's going to happen now. But yeah, overall, from what I was checking out, it seemed to be a pretty competitive game, 78-75, and Texas Tech got the win. But look what happened next. But we'll go into that later on, I guess.
All right, let's give Casanova's flowers. He picked the upset here. He picked the upset. Good job. Congratulations. Yeah. So tell us about why you picked that upset. You said it last week, but tell them again, and then what you saw in this game to reinforce that.
So basically, what I was thinking going into the game was Arizona seemed like, they were such on a high, and a lot of times when you come down off of it, it's not just one game. It's never just one game. It's normally probably 2. You hope it don't get to 3 games. Plus, I thought the Red Raiders, I was like, they need this win bad. Mm-hmm. They played really desperate. They did from the get-go. They played desperate out of the gate. And it was a grind-them-out game. And then it just came down to the guy that we're going to talk about, JT Toppin, man. 31-13 is – he was just a force to be reckoned with in this game. And it's hard to talk about this game without getting into that, but we're going to talk about it.
We can talk about it. I mean, he tore his ACL during the week this week. He's out for the year. I guess let's start with, does this kill their chances? I mean, I thought they had a legit chance because they had Christian Anderson, who's a great guard, and you've got Toppin as the forward. So they have 2 closers. They've shown that they can beat really good teams, including Duke and Arizona. But now without Toppin, do they have no shot? What do you think, Oracle? Are they just done?
When it comes to tournament time, teams have a tendency to go after your weakness. And now with the loss of JT Toppin, I mean, they're gonna attack. They're gonna provide tremendous pressure on Texas Tech. I think it's going to be very difficult for them to go much further than maybe the first round, if that as well. But if they had him, sky's the limit. But without him, I think it's going to be so difficult because now you got to plan differently. You got to coach differently. You got to strategize differently. I mean, everything you got to do is different. And I think that's going to make the defensive team that they're playing against, look at it and find ways to help them out as far as how they're going to proceed with the defensive pressure on whatever on Texas Tech and how they're going to play them. I just think this is a tough one to swallow. You know what I mean? I wish that Texas Tech had Toppin at his best and them at their best. We're not going to see that, and it's unfortunate.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. So, Kenny, what do you think? Like, obviously, I'm going to throw a different question at you now that you're an NIL expert, but he was actually the highest paid NIL player in all of college basketball. I don't know if you guys knew that. So he's a heck of a player. Yeah. Now he's going to be out 8 months minimum. Do you think that Texas Tech is going to retain him, let him rehab, and either come in next year or maybe redshirt him? Or the other thing is, obviously, I thought he was going to go to the pros after this one. So maybe we'll see. So if you're Texas Tech, Kenny, what would you do with Top?
Good.
Ooh.
Curveball.
Curveball.
Mr. Moneyline right there. That's the curveball right there. I think that with him, man, because he was on his way to the draft. I'm thinking that. But then with this injury, man, if you Texas Tech, you do everything to try to bring him back, but it has to be at a great price. It got to be at a great price because it's gonna be a while. It's gonna be a while for him to get back. Even if he comes back, he's not gonna be himself, and so you don't want to pay him at that market rate that you pay him now, man. I can't see bringing him back for that, but I say bring him back.
We got a guy in the chat wrote he'd redshirt him. I think that makes sense. But what do you think, Oracle? You think they'll redshirt him, or you think they'll keep him in there? And obviously, got to structure the NIL for him because they won't give him full because obviously he's not going to be on the court.
I've been thinking about that, and that was a great question, great curveball. But here is my thing. His agent is going to play a big part as to what he's going to do. If he's projected to be a second pick, third pick, I'm sure his agent's going to, put all the pros and cons. And I think that if he's healthy, I think he's going to go pro.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's going to go pro because
the rehab at the pro level.
He's got to get the money while he can. I think NIL's good, but I think he's definitely, if he's healthy, I mean, it's going to take 8 months to get better, heal, whatever. Yeah, and that 8, I think he's going to the NBA.
Okay. I mean, certainly I want that for him and his family, right? Just wasn't sure if he'd still get drafted, draft being in June.
That's what so on. So it's kind of a tight timeline on that,
So good question in the chat. If they redshirt him, can he leave? I don't think he can. I mean, you're talking about maybe in a transfer portal. Probably not. If they redshirt him, that could kind of gives control. I was listening to a podcast today, and they were saying essentially they'll restructure his NIL deal, give him something, and he gets to rehab with Texas Tech. And then let's just say he's okay by, January next year, he could maybe play if he wanted to. But anyway, it's definitely something to consider.
Yes.
Yeah, and and to your question, sir, thank you for joining us. We like comments. It's exciting. I think he can transfer, and I think he can't go into the draft. So one or the other. I mean, obviously, he could go in the draft. Once he goes to the draft, he can't play in college again. So let's go to the next one. So we just talked a little bit about Iowa State, winning on Saturday, which was an incredible win, but they dominated Kansas. Then right away, they got to turn around and play Houston at home, right? So it's like, hey, you got this big win against your rival. How about Houston? And Houston comes to town. They bring some dudes. And I want to say this. I know we talked about him a little bit on the first show. This Kingston Flemings guy, I had not seen him play until this game. This guy is so good, and he's smooth. And in the second half, when Sharp was out, most of the half with foul trouble, he took over. And this team was up by 10. But I give the Cyclones credit. They came all the way back, outscored them 17-4 in the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game and win the game outright. 70, 67. But Oracle, talk to me about this Kingston Fleming's kid. I mean, this guy's an NBA player, obviously.
Oh, without question. It's unfortunate that a lot of people in the country don't get a chance to see players like him, but he is phenomenal. I've been watching it. I mean, I'm trying to do who I would compare him to. And right now, I'm kind of confused right now as to who. He has his own style, but I mean, he's very effective. He can do it all. I mean, the kid got skills. He's just phenomenal. And when it gets tournament time, like I said, the guys take over. So when it gets tournament time, you never know what's going to happen. But I'm definitely going to keep an eye on him because he's one of them guys you got to watch out for.
Yeah, agreed. What do you think, Casanova? Were you impressed by Mr. Fleming's?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, I watched them on the one. They went up and took the lead for like a few seconds on the one drive. Dribbled up, mid range, just pulled up. So I was like, and the guys all over. I'm just like, oh, this kid, yeah, he's a gamer. And see, in tournament time, like the Oracle said, in tournament time, you're gonna need those guys who are gamers. You don't need, like I said, you don't need the most outstanding and all that. Who's a gamer? Who's going to be able to lock in those moments in the tournament and make a play? Just make a play. And I feel like Houston, even though they lost this game, they went up on my list. They did.
Yeah, they did.
Iowa State, of course, but I'm just saying Houston particularly went up because now I'm like, oh, they got guard play now.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, Oracle said it. They guards in March, right? And they've got 3. I mean, they have not just the kid Sharp, but the other guy. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. That kid can really play, though. He's like basically have almost 3-point guards. They can all handle. They can all shoot. And so when I saw that, I thought they're going to win the game, first of all. But they were handling that pressure really well. It's just Iowa State made some big shots. Honestly, in this game, Houston lost it because they missed the free throws. He had the 2 free throws. He missed the front end of 1-and-1, and that was to go from like up 2 to 4. He misses it. They go down and hit the 3, and then it was basically advantage Iowa State.
Yeah.
And something, fellas. Again, tournament time. We didn't talk about how important it is to hit your foul shots. People don't play some point. It is so damn important to hit your free throws because that can be the tell of the game. And a lot of teams are not that good foul shooting. And again, that goes back to the defense. Who do you want to foul? When it comes down to clutch time at the end of the game, who do you want to foul? There's so many things that go into play when you're not a very good foul shooting team.
Yeah, it's Milos Usan, by the way. I need to get his name out because that guy was legit.
And they're free throws, man. They're free. You can have them. They're free. They're free buckets. Do what you got to do.
Charity strike.
It's a charity strike, man.
Yeah, they lost the game, though. Houston played a great game. They lost it 2 ways. They missed that free throw, and then they didn't block out on the free throw on the other end. The kid kept donging free throws, and they kept kicking it out, and then they got the 3. But anyway, Iowa State, they played great. I know that now Kenny's all on Iowa State's bandwagon. He's starting to do the cyclone. He's like running around his house, spinning around because he's the cyclone guy now. I told him to slow down. They got to play on the road now. But
that's what I'm ready to see. Yep, you're right. I'm gonna slow down.
Let's talk about a team that went on the road and got an impressive win. And you guys mentioned them earlier, Michigan. They're number 1 for a reason. Now they went to Purdue. Purdue's a good basketball team. We know they've played well early. They had a little slump, but they started playing good again. It does not matter. This Michigan team goes into Purdue, goes into Mackey, shoots 52.6% from the field, 56.5% behind the arc in this game. They were unstoppable, and they beat Purdue handily 91-80 in their building. Oracle, I don't know. Is anybody going to beat this Michigan team?
I don't think so. I really don't think so. If their guys, like in football, be a game manager, if the guys can just manage the game, I think Michigan is, they got Adam Maury, I can't pronounce his name correct, 7'3". They got Maury Johnson, 6'9". Then they got Yaxel Lindenberg, 6'9". Then they got Malik Cordell, 7'2". Come on, guys. Come on. What a front line they have. And the fact is, as long as that guys can maintain, don't turn on the ball over that much, I think they're gonna be a tough out. I mean, they have what I think they have a lot to project them to be the final four, at least the final four for sure. And if they get there, there's no stop. They are tough. They are tough.
Casanova, you're gonna put your Cyclones against Michigan or what? In the finals?
I won't do that. I won't do that. But Michigan, man, they're impressive, man. I mean, all that hype, man. It's like, we talk about guards.
Yep.
Well, they gotta go through them 7-3 guys and 7-2 guys.
Yeah.
And Michigan, they look like a runaway train right now. But I do see a team. We won't get into predictions now.
It's a little teaser. Hold out. Don't hold up. The audience wants to be on the edge of their seats. We will definitely talk about Duke in a minute, but we'll get to the Jay Howe. I appreciate you commenting. We will get there. I will say one thing about Michigan. When I used to play, of course, as a guard, it's always bad when you get off the bus and everybody is like hitting their head getting off the bus, right? So you're sitting the fourth, fifth guy that's like 6'9" and above. Look, you get in the layup line and everybody thinks they're hot shots. But you see these guys just like putting it in the basket like this. You're going to be in for a long day on the boards. You know what I mean? Let's talk about one last game from the week. And this was last night. I had to throw it on here because I couldn't get enough of this game. Arkansas went down to Alabama. Obviously, we talked about Charles Bediako. He's now ruled ineligible. If you guys caught that, he's definitely ruled ineligible now. So they're down a guy. But Arkansas went in there. This was a breakneck pace. I couldn't believe it. I kept looking up at the score. It was like 40-40, and there was like 12 minutes to go in the first half. It was just crazy. This game just kept going. In the end, this game goes to double overtime. Alabama does come out victorious, 117-115, but Oracle, we got to talk about Darius Acuff because this guy is a problem. 49 points in this game, almost the highest point total on the year from any player. He's a freshman. What do you think about this guy?
Well, before I go into Darius, I got to go back to Darren Peterson. This guy, he's had so many injuries, flu, takes himself out the game at halftime, etc. Right. Everybody knows about his situation now. His draft pick might go down a little bit because a lot of coaches are very upset with him. A lot of players are upset with him as well. Now, let's take it back to Darius. Do you all know that 2 days ago, he was going around in a walking boot? He had a walking boot 2 days before the game. Yeah. And the coach asked him, Calipari said, look, are you going to play? He said, you kidding me? You damn right I'm going to play. And guess what? He played.
50 minutes, Oracle. He played every minute of that basketball game.
Was it double overtime, right? He played. Oh, Lord have mercy. And he's only a freshman. What?
He's freshman, man.
This year's freshman, he's to me, he's right at that top. Matter of fact, Calipari said he might be one of the best guys he ever coached. Now that's a whole lot.
Derrick Rose, Shake Alexander. I mean, these are some guys.
He's had a couple of good guys. He had a couple. And for him to say this guy might be the best one, sky is the limit. But what a great performance. What a great game. Exciting game. If you want to score, that's where it was. It gave you a little bit of everything, double overtime. I mean, if you don't like playing basketball, watch that damn game. I was pumped up. I couldn't even go to sleep. I was watching that game. I was a mess. But what a great game. I'm very happy for the young man. I think he's got a great future ahead of himself. And tremendous.
What do you think, Kenny? What do you think about this one?
The Oracle spoke every word. Man. This is a tremendous game for real. The crazy part is I was just scrolling through the channels. I was like, man, where's BYU and Arizona at? What is holding? I went to look, in this game I said, oh, whoa. I looked at that score. I said, let me lock in real quick. And then I'm watching Darius. I was like, because then Mr. Moneyline put in the chat, he said, I was like, it's tough. I was like, I said, is this the kid that scored all these points? I said, oh man, hold on. I said, forget about Arizona and BYU. Y'all can run this back.
Exactly. I know. I will give credit. Look, Bama, their sophomore guard, LeBaron Philon was great too.
Yeah.
And basically, the Razorbacks just ran out of players. They started fouling the guys out. They went to some guys who never played. It was great. The guy came on the court, catch the ball, give it right back to Acuff.
What you to do? Amazing,
but hey, I was impressed that Bama bounced back, you know, because obviously losing Bediako and stuff, playing a team that obviously was red hot, you know, Razorbacks are playing great. So give him some credit. I'm not a huge fan, but Nate Oates has got those jackets. You know what I mean? He's got those plaid jackets like the old school. So I call that. Well, let's talk about some risers and fallers just kind of generally, and we'll go over the bubble real quick and get into this week's games. So, of course, I did this before the injury, but we talked about Texas Tech. They were a riser. Now I think they're a faller, but what are you going to do? We just talked about Arkansas. They're kicking butt. Seven slots up, even with the loss in Ken Palm. They're just rising up those metrics because they can score. Louisville, I was talking about these guys. Of course, every time I put somebody on this, I jinx them. You were talking about the Casanova jinx before the pod, but this is the jinx. I put Louisville on there because they're playing great. Another freshman, Michael Brown, is really good. He's heating up. But then they go to SMU and they lose. They gave up 95 points. So maybe I shouldn't put this on the list until
yeah, maybe.
And then Wisconsin, the same thing. This team is playing great. They got those two guards, Nick Boyd and John Blackwell. They got a big win earlier, and then now they lose to Ohio State. So I don't know what to say. Any of these teams, we've talked about two of them. What do you think about Louisville and Wisconsin, Oracle?
You know, they surprised me. Wisconsin, you know, they have, you know, of course, widely heralded reputation, you know, as a very tough, very high-nosed team. And, you know, I was very, very impressed. But then again, you know, I want to put something to you guys. A lot of times they say a lot of teams right now are having difficulty going away. I think that's been a problem this year more than years previously. I think. I don't know the exact analytics to it, but I think that might be a problem as well. I think a lot of teams, when they have to travel long distances, it does have an effect on how they play. Yeah, you know, it's going to be interesting to see how they come. But I got one that's even worse. But we'll go with what you guys say. I got one that's even worse.
Okay. All right, Casanova. What do you? Any of these guys you've seen Louisville play? You seen Wisconsin play at all? The Badgers?
I did see Wisconsin play. I have seen Wisconsin play. They're your typical Big Ten team, rough, rugged, but they have the hiccups. Like every Big Ten team does. They have that one slight hiccup. They play in a really good conference. I mean, even like lower teams in the conference are really good. It's like an Ohio State type of team. Like you can lose you know what I'm saying? You can go beat Michigan State and then turn around and then lose the Ohio State the next game just because how good the conference is. And
yeah,
so, I don't know about Wisconsin, man. It's like tournament.
I don't know what to expect.
Tournament, man. Let's get.
Yeah, it's going to be in Chicago. What's that?
A lot of these teams are going to get exposed when it comes tournament time.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. So a couple of the fallers that we already talked about Clemson, and they lost again. They lost to Wake on Wednesdays. They already lost those games, and they lose again. So just I don't know what's going on. Maybe they got an injury I'm not aware of, but they're just kind of going down. And then Iowa, they've kind of been that Big Ten team you're talking about, Kenny, up and down and up and down. And, you know, they obviously they took care of business. You know, Purdue took care of business, but then, you know, Nebraska, they beat Nebraska. So, like, I don't know what to say. Like, when you play, it's great that they beat a good team in Nebraska, but then they can't string two together. But I think you're right. You're playing a tough schedule every night, like the Big 12. There's no nights off. you're always going to have to get on your horse and play hard.
Yes.
What team are you going to talk about, Oracle?
BYU. I gotta go with them. They started off so very well, and I remember watching them. I think it was the very first or second game they played UConn at the Boston Garden, and I watched that game. Every second of that game, I was so impressed with BYU with the way they played, and they started going on them run, and all of a sudden everything's starting to fall down. I think they went from number 2 and number 3 to down to number 22, 24 or 25, whatever they're at right now. And I think that might be one of the biggest drops this season so far. And even though they have the great freshman, Devontae's playing out of his mind, got 35 last night. I'm very impressed. They also have a very good point guard, by the way. But I don't recall his name at the present time. But I'm very disappointed in the fact, what you want to do is maybe start off slow, and then build momentum as the season goes along. And then when tournament time comes, you're ready to roll.
Flip it.
Well, you got the opposite with BYU. And then you mentioned that you said Toppin makes the most money in the NIL. A couple of guys right behind him. So, you know what I mean? I know my man DeBonce is right behind him. So, I've been watching them a lot, and I can't understand. They seem to be losing games towards the second half. They just fall apart. And then they rely on the bouncer to bail them out. And I just think that's one of the biggest drops this season thus far.
Yeah, I mean, Richie Saunders did tear his ACL end of last week.
Yeah.
And your guy Wright is the other running guard. He's the other point guard that's pretty good. But I just think they don't play enough defense, man. They can't.
That's the problem.
Defense travels. You can't – a defense, you could take Houston to the moon. They're still going to play you hard. BYU, they're great in a maybe neutral setting when the crowd isn't that big of a deal, or maybe when they're at home, but they get in a hostile environment. Like last night, they played okay against Arizona, but I knew that they were never going to win that basketball game.
And something too, fellas, once you get into conference play, it's a whole different ballgame. Once you get into conference play, it either elevates you or brings you down. Because, like you said, you can't rest on your laurels because you're playing the game after game after game. It takes a wear and tear on your body. I mean, the trial it's time consuming. I mean, it takes a lot out of teams, and that's why I think you're going to see a lot of teams stop falling, just like BYU.
That's right. Any thoughts, Casanova?
I definitely agree with that. BYU, like you said, they started out so high. You were like, okay, this thing could, see how they, ride the wave of the season, of course. But it seems like the wave is drowning them now at this point. Yeah. It seems like it's either AJ or it's nothing at this point. And he's scoring, he's doing what he got to do. But one man can only do but so much. You got to have teammates, man. You got to have teammates. But the good part about them is if they could get in the tournament, when you got a scorer and a guy who can put up 35 any given moment,
yes,
you got a shot. You at least got a shot. And I think with him in these tournament games, who's guarding him? I mean, he can mess around and average 40 in the tournurnament. But if when
he gets out of the Big 12, I think he'll be okay because they're just roughing him up a little bit.
Yes, there it is. Stop playing the Big 12, right?
And then again, defenses can deploy different strategies, zone defenses, boxing one, 2-3, whatever the strategy they can come up with to, eliminate some of his strengths. So when it comes to tournament time, again, y'all weaknesses show up. They come out loud and clear.
That's right. Well, let's quickly, so we still only got 20 minutes left. Let's quickly talk about, the bubble and bracketology. So this is as of the 17th. This thing changes so quickly, guys. I've been trying to track it, but every day the games make changes. Lenardi does his brackets. I think he does it like 3 times a week. I can't do it every day. I got a job, you know what I mean? But as of the 17th, there were 10 Big 10 teams, 10 SEC teams, 8 ACC teams, 8 Big 12, and then you kind of had Only 3 in the Big East, 3 in the West Coast, and 2 in the Mountain West. So that does shift a little bit. The Mountain West had 3 last week, and you see it kind of up and down. A couple of teams I want to highlight on this big list, and you kind of mentioned this before, Oracle, like UCLA. This is a team, they're still in the tournament, in the dance, at least as of the 17th. Tomorrow we'll see if Lenardi's got him in. This team cannot win on the road. I mean, they go to, obviously they're playing Michigan State, who's been, they struggle on the road too, but they destroyed them by 23 points on Tuesday night. What is going on with the Bruins? I mean, I thought this team, Mick Cronin's a tough coach. He usually has his team ready to play, but 23 points on the road, that's just kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
Oh, well, you know what I think about that? First of all, the coach is a well-known. I think he took him to the Final Four, maybe even the title, if I recall.
Title game, yeah.
What he did this past week might lead to drastic repercussions. When he threw his own player out the game, usually you let the referee do that. When you take your own player out the game, I think that sends a message to the audience, to the players, and to the rest of the other teams. I just think that might have a negative effect on how they play from now on. But to answer your question, you're right. They have a great team. They're well coached. But sometimes, again, they were talking about, as I was telling you about, the travel aspect. Is that I'm not making excuses for them, but a lot of times when they have to make that travel, I think that's poses a problem for them as well. But I think the incident with that, when he threw that kid out, I think that was not a good move for the morale of the team at all.
Right, I agree. What do you think, Kenny? What's up with UCLA?
Yeah, I didn't like the message that it sent at all to the team. I felt like at the end of the day, I mean, yes, he made a mistake, but he's just when you train him and you coach him, you don't send him to the locker room and just game. I mean, we're supposed to be a unit. We a team. He made a mistake. Yeah. So does that mean when I get in the game and I make a mistake, now you got your team playing gunshot now? I can't even play physical, like borderline physicality, enough to affect the shot. So when a guy go up, I just let him go because if I hit him, the coach gonna pull me and throw me out the game. So now you got your team playing gunshot now. It's a terrible message to send to the team. UCLA seems like they're going downhill. I think the travel thing is a very interesting point. I do think that when you're traveling, especially how far they're traveling from and everything, I think that time difference is really messing these kids.
Especially they go East Coast.
It's different now with Oregon and all these guys coming over from the big, the Pac-12, where they just stayed regional in the Pac-12. You're on the East, the West Coast. Now they travel to Michigan State, Ohio State, and all these different, campuses, and it's the time zones is throwing these kids off. So I don't know what they're gonna do to. I guess you gotta, you do what you gotta do. I guess. I mean,
one thing I'd like to add about that, I watched the St. John's Providence College game. There were 7 ejections. 7 ejections. I mean, you want to talk about all out, damn near brawl? That game was off the charts. And it's right down here, not about 20 minutes from where I live. So I watched that game intensely. And 7, not technical, 7 ejections. Yeah. And you had the famous Rick Pitino there. You had the coach, whatever his name is, for Providence College.
Providence.
And they didn't even play that game out. The referees threw them out, not the coaches. You see, not the referees. Let the referees handle that. To go and take your own player and just throw him out of there when what he did, I don't think it was intentional. What Providence College did was intentional. What that player did, but it was not intentional. I think that was BPG. That was not correct.
Yeah, it'll come back. We'll see how it goes. Well, let's talk about the games this weekend. We've got about 15 minutes here. Got some huge games this weekend, guys. Hopefully you can get your popcorn ready, get your grill going, whatever you're going to do. We'll start off on Saturday. The big, there's tons of big games on Saturday. We'll start off with Arizona going to Houston first. These are all estimated lines. I know you guys don't care about the lines like I do, Mr. Moneyline over here. But I think Houston will be a short favorite in this one, like 2.5, maybe 145.5 point total. This is Saturday the 21st at 2 o'clock Central, 3 o'clock Eastern time on ABC. Koa Pete will not play in this game. And obviously Houston's coming off that loss. So, Kenny, you've been pretty good. We haven't been keeping records, but I know you only missed like one so far. So who you got in this one?
Well, let me look into the crystal ball. Hold on. Nah. But, I think I mean, with Koa Pete being out, I mean, I think it's really simple for me. I think Houston wins this game. I do. I think they're just catching Arizona at the right time. I do. I think they're catching them at the right time. Him being out is a huge loss. Plus, I think Houston wants that. They want to get that bad taste out their mouth from the Iowa State game. I do. So I think they're going to be ready to go, and this could get ugly. I'm going to call it now. This could get out of hand. I can see an out of hand game coming. Houston going ahead and, clamping up, doing what they got to do, taking away everybody else from Arizona. And I can see a 70-54 type of game, somewhere around there.
Okay. Oracle, can you refute that? You think Arizona's going to come to play? You think that Houston's going to take care of business?
Where's the game at?
It's in Houston.
Oh, I'm going with Houston all the way.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah, they're good.
All the way. That case closed.
Bad taste in their mouth. They're not going to lose 2 straight. This team they want to stay on top of the Big 12. So I want to see a good game, though. I want to see if Burries, the freshman, and Jaden Bradley, they just beat BYU last night. So they did get a win. They got back in the win column, but let's see if we can, keep it going and get a good basketball game. All right, so we got a guy, Jay Howe. Thank you. I'll finally put up your comment. He seems to have a pick for Saturday's game already in the comments before we even talked about it. We got number 1 Michigan playing against Duke, and it's not at Duke. It's actually a neutral site game in D.C. this weekend. I'm not sure. They already put the line out on this, guys, like way in advance, which is not usual for college basketball. But they've got Duke as a short favorite, a 1.5 point favorite in this one, 148.8.5 point total, which seems low to me. I'll go with you this time, Oracle. Who you got in this game, Duke or Michigan, on a neutral court?
All right. I'm not money line like yourself, but I'm going to take the over, and I'm taking Michigan. And neutral site, I'm definitely going with Michigan. Now, if it was at Duke, I might have, that place is nuts. But in neutral site, I'm taking the over, and I'm taking Michigan. Take it and run with it.
And obviously, we've talked about Cam Boozer on the podcast. He want to know what you think. You love Cam. You think he's a great player.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah. He definitely is. He definitely is. He's got all the tools. He reminds me of, because I'm old as dirt, and I am considered the historian. And he reminds me of the old school players. You know what I mean? He's not real flashy. He's real basic, fundamentally sound, does a little bit of everything well. Defensively, he's really good. He can rebound. He can distribute the ball. Well-rounded. I like his game. I like the way they coached. But I'm sorry, that front line is going to be disastrous for them. I'm definitely going with Michigan.
All right, Casanova, your record's on the line. We got Duke, we got Michigan, DC, nation's capital. Who you got?
Come on.
Yes, and Jay Howe that's in the comments, that's my cousin. So
thanks,
he's
Jay.
a huge Duke fan. And cousin, I'm going to break your heart because I'm going with Michigan. And I think we family still, but I'm rolling with Michigan. I think Michigan in this game, like you said, it's the regular season. They're going to flex their muscle a little bit. They're going to make it really tough on Boozer to do what he normally does, which is dominate.
Yes.
To back down, fundamental, over the left shoulder, right shoulder. No. Then they got the 6'9" defenders if he go out to the perimeter.
I'm telling you.
It's going to be a problem because they're going to throw so many defenders at him. hopefully somebody else on the Duke roster can, do something, because I think it's going to be a tough night for him. I do. I think it's going to be a tough night for him. I'm going to go with Michigan.
And watch out for the matchup zone. Watch out for the matchup zone.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I hate when we all agree, but we've agreed so far too much. But I'd like Michigan too in this game. I think they are the best team in the country. They're going to show it. I thought they'd have a letdown at Purdue because, they're looking ahead a little bit, but they did not. So I think Dusty May is going to have them ready. That size against Cam Boozer is going to be a problem for him, I think. I'm really curious to see how the guards play for Duke, because that may be a slight advantage. They're a little bit bigger than Cadeau in that team. And Cadeau used to play at North Carolina, so they know his game. So if Duke can get good guard play, maybe we got something here. But I'm excited to see it. Definitely a Final Four or title matchup. So in that one, if I didn't say what time that was, that's at 5:30 p.m. Central and 6:30. Can't miss it, baby. Can't miss it. Let's talk about Kenny's team, because they're still every week they're on this list. The Iowa State Cyclones are going to BYU, AJ DeBonsis, but they're going to be in Provo this time. I'm estimating Iowa State being a road favorite, 4.5 points, 149.5 point total. This is at 9:30 p.m. Central, 10:30 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Richie Saunders is out, as we mentioned. I'm gonna put you on the spot, Kenny. You're gonna take your Cyclones again. You're gonna do your Cyclone dance around the apartment again.
I'll tell y'all this. I'm scared of this game.
Oh, okay.
I know we've been, down in BYU, but this is the type of game. After you done had them highs that Iowa State is, you have to come back down to earth.
Okay.
This may be a comeback down to earth game for them, and BYU knows they need it. You can't keep losing and then go into the tournament and lose in the first round and expect to even get in. I mean, you can't keep sliding going the other way. I think this might be BYU's life jacket game. I'm gonna call it. I love you, Iowa State. I apologize. But I see something here. This is a life jacket game, so I think BYU casts their life jacket out there for one more game, and then they get a big win at home against Iowa State.
Wow. All right. Oracle, what do you think? Are you seeing this in your future too? Are you seeing the future that BYU is going to have 45 and they're going to win?
I'm going to go against Casanova. I really do. I really want to go against him. But you know what? I got to go with BYU. And know what's going to come down to? Coaching. I think because they've lost so many games by such small margins, I think it's the coaching is going to be a major factor in this game. And it being at BYU, I'm definitely going to roll with BYU. I think enough is enough. They've been losing so many damn close games. I think this is the time they show the country that they're for real.
Yes.
All right, I'm going against you guys this time. All right, I'm gonna take the favorite. I'm gonna be cycloning all up and down Chicago streets. I'm sure I'll hear from you guys in the group chat when BYU's up 20 in the first half. But look, I don't disagree with the handicap you guys have. It's true. BYU has to play better. They know they got to play better. They have the ability to shoot the ball from the outside is what you need to beat Iowa State. I'm just concerned their depth. Iowa State can really trap this team. They'll wear them down over time. So I do like your angle maybe in the first half. The second half, Iowa State's going to take care of business. But, they're not playing at home. I told Kenny when he said in the chat, he's like, Cyclones. And I was like, hey, they got to play on the road at some point. So I'm glad you guys listen to me, but I'm going against my own advice. All right, let's do this one's Monday. We're switching over to the next week. Monday, you got Louisville going to North Carolina. I'm showing North Carolina as a favorite. I'm not sure about that. That's an estimate, 147.5 point total. This is Monday at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Caleb Wilson is out, and when they played against NC State, they got destroyed because the main offensive weapon's gone. I don't know. Oracle, are they going to bounce back and play better against Louisville at home?
The game before Caleb got hurt. Matter of fact, the last game before that, great coaching job. North Carolina put out a great win. The next game, they got their socks blown off. And again, when you lose your best player, teams go around there and they go after your weakness, and they went after their weakness. I don't see them. I think they're going to play better, but I can't see them winning. Unfortunately, when so much is dependent upon Khalid Wilson and he's not there, I think teams are going to use that to their advantage. So I think UNC, even though I like them a lot, I think they're well coached. I think they're going to lose.
Mm-hmm. Casanova,
Well,
crystal ball.
I am actually going to take UNC. Reason being, I think because they're at home. I think when you got young guys, they don't have to travel. We're in our home, relaxed environment. I think what's going to happen is I think UNC is going to get a much needed win at the right time, and I do think UNC is going to win this one just because they're at home. I'm going to take the home favorite on this one.
Good. I don't disagree with you. I think UNC is going to play really good in this one. I was really excited to take UNC when I thought Louisville would win last night, and then they come in on a winning streak, and then they end it. So now it's going to be both coaches. They're basically they're all running sprints right now. You know that. You know that. Or it's like they're running sprints right this second. Both teams lost big time. But I think I'll stick with North Carolina just because of the home. We talked about it. It's hard to win on the road. If you're going to two even teams, I'll take the home team. All right. Just in case you thought Houston was getting off easy this week, they are not. In like 8 days, they had to play at Iowa State, at home against Arizona. Now they're going to Kansas on Monday at 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN. Kansas at home is great. Rock chalk, as you know. I'm showing Kansas as a short favorite. I'm going to show a lower total, 140.5 point total. Oracle, who do you think is going to win this basketball game?
Very simple. Who's the doctor in the building? Because Peterson has what? A case of cramps all the goddamn time? I want to know who the damn doctor is, the trainer. I want to know what's going on. We want to know before the game, is he going to play? What's going to happen? Does he want to? If he wants to play, if the coach knows he's going to play, let's put it that way, so they can plan that he's playing, I'm going with Kansas. If he does his whatever he's been doing, then I'm definitely going to go with Houston. But if he plays and it's well known before the game, and he don't leave at halftime or the quarter or whatever, I'm going to go with Kansas. And in fact, they're at home as well.
What do you think, Kenny?
I'm going to take Houston because I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. I mean, he can come in the game and play. All of a sudden, you say, you know what? I mean, I even seen him. He said the coach said, "Hey, come get me." For what? You just hit a three. What am I coming to get you for? I got Houston. Man. I got Houston. That's it.
Simple handicap. I'm going against you guys. I guess you're with Oracle. You're with Kansas if you know he's going to play. I'm going to pick Kansas only because, look, it's tough to win on the road everywhere. Big 12. This is probably the toughest venue. Here and Duke are probably the two toughest places to win.
Yeah.
And look, if Kansas is going to win this game, because I actually thought after those kind of wins before they got destroyed at Iowa State, I was like, hey, this team can win the championship. And this team, Peterson doesn't even have to play great. They're playing good without him. Then he gets in there, he plays better. At home, I think he's going to play better. I think Kansas wins this basketball game. Don't worry, Kenny. I know you're gonna be right. You're gonna text me. Look at that, Wags. I told you again. All right, last game. We had this a couple of weeks ago, and it's back. We got St. John's at UConn this time. This is on Wednesday night, the 25th, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. This is on Peacock and NBC Sports. I think UConn will be favored in this game. They went down last night. I don't know if you saw that. They got beat.
Yeah,
so now they got to bounce back next week. They got to play St. John's. I love St. John's. So I'm showing UConn as a short favorite, 142.5 point total. All right, Kenny, I'll let you go first. Who you got in this one?
I'm gonna take UConn with my eyes closed. I think them coming off a loss is better for them than them coming off a win. I think the coach will have them ready to play. They will be physical this time, and they will play a style of ball that St. John's will have to adjust to, but I think they will not. I'm going to take UConn with my eyes closed.
Oh, Oracle, what do you think?
You know, Kenny, you know that Bill Johns beat UConn at New York. You know that, right?
Yes,
So it's
yes.
kind of a revenge game. So, like you said, Hurley is already out of his mind. So he's going to have out of his mind. He's already complaining about the crowd not being into it. So with the game being at UConn, the place is going to be ridiculous.
Yes.
And I think UConn's going to come out with a fire and fever that they probably haven't had this year at all. And knowing Coach Hurley, I guarantee they're going to be ready. They will be ready. Even though my heart says St. John's, I got to go with UConn. They're at home. Their place is going to be ridiculous. I got to go with UConn.
Yeah. Regrettably, I'm going to go with you guys in this game, but I will tell you, UConn can win this game. I don't really care about it. When they get in the Big East tournament, St. John going to take them out because they're going to be back in the Garden. They're going to say, "See ya."
Hey, at the guy, anything can happen. Anything can happen.
Right.
All right, guys, we went all the way to the time, so we gotta sign off. But thanks for everybody who we had some viewers today, got some comments. We got Kenny's cousin in there, Marcus in there. Great, thank you. Continue to check us out on Thursdays, Primetime College Hoops podcast. Follow the network, Prime Coverage Sports Network. Follow me at Wegspool on X and Instagram. Oracle, tell us where to find you again.
I'm on the Sports Wade Network, Sports Corner with the Con Man. Usually on Friday evenings live at 6 p.m. Tune in, fellas.
Yep.
Casanova.
Yep, and you can find me on Twitter at Kenneth92774665. Or you can find me on Facebook at Kenny Casanova, man. Catch me on the Renegade Rundown. Catch me on Sunday Night Hoops. I'm everywhere now, man. I'm trying to do this global thing. So
we're gonna get you a new Twitter handle at some point, my friend.
Yes,
is that a phone number? What are we doing there?
We got Casanova up.
I let them pick it for me. I'm like, man, I gotta go change that.
All right, fellas. We'll check everybody out next week. Take care.
Take care.
Yeah, hey, drop.
Prime Coverage Sports Network. Real coverage, real conversation.